Ja, herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Ausgabe C-Talk und Sie sehen schon ein Interview, ein Follow-up-Interview, Sernova und auch gleich vorab. Ich habe ein Conflict of Interest. Ich bin Aktionär schon seit gut einem Jahr, bin ein glücklicher Aktionär, auch wenn sich im letzten Jahr nicht wirklich, oder ja, im letzten Jahr muss man eigentlich sagen, nicht wirklich was getan hat. Und das passt eigentlich auch nicht zum Newsflow, wo die Company gehabt hat. Und das ist auch der Grund, warum ich heute die Chance wieder nutze, um mit Philipp Toleikis, dem President und CEO von der Company, ein Interview zu machen. Ja, und ich würde sagen, wir starten gleich. Philip, thank you for your time and congratulations. You ring the bell last week.
Yes, thank you. It was very exciting for the team to come out and experience opening of the stock exchange up in Toronto.
And this was one of our major questions also last time when we do our last interview in February. And by the way, I have a conflict of interest. I'm a shareholder, and the last interview was in February, and since then, a lot of things happened. One was the listing on the TSX, the uplisting from TSXV to TSX, big board. So it should help that more institutional investors coming to the story. And I think it's important that you also reach other milestone. And last time we talked about partnerships and so on, and you're coming up 3 weeks ago with a very interesting partnership also from the German side. Then you make a deal with a German company. So maybe you can give us an idea what the deal means for the company.
Yeah, that sounds great. So as everyone knows, there's 3 parts to our technology that allows us to have a complete, what I call a regenerative medicine product for diabetes itself. So Sernova right now, those 3 different parts include the cell pouch, which we have already validated in the clinic, and we continue to validate its safety and efficacy. So that part, and we have what we believe to be the only device that is placed deep under the skin that is showing, C-peptide, insulin in the bloodstream consistently long-term in patients. So that part is great. The second part of our technology is how do you protect the cells from immune system attack? And so we have licensed in the conformal coating technology from the University of Miami. And that has been proven to be a polymer coating that coats the cells in a very simple kind of way, but allows insulin and glucose to go back and forth, but also is able to protect those cells from immune attack. So that's the second part of our technology. Third part are the cells themselves, right? And everyone knows we've been working on our clinical trial at the University of Chicago with human donor cells, and there's a limited supply of those cells, but we're able to get a really good understanding and work with the sickest of the sickest patients to be able to show cell pouches working. So what we have been doing for quite a number of years is looking for an unlimited supply of islets to be able to treat all people with diabetes. And we have had a number of pharmaceutical collaborations working with companies that have ethically derived stem cell technology, and they're called iPSC cells. So these are cells that can be made from skin cells or blood cells or whatever, and be pushed into fully differentiated islets, which is what controls blood sugar levels in your body. So the company that we found we work the best with on multiple levels is Evotec. And we have actually been collaborating with Evotec for a number of years, and we've combined our cell pouch technology with their cells, and we've been able to get long-term insulin independence in the gold standard preclinical models of type 1 diabetes. And after all of that occurred, Evotec then went out and they tested every device that they could test out there to just ensure and make comparisons between our device and all the other devices out there. And back in August of last year, they came to us and said, we've tested every device. Yours is the only one that works consistently, and we want to do a deal with you and put our technologies together. So, interestingly, Evotec is a 4,000 person company, and they are a research and development powerhouse. And what they typically do is will develop technologies up to a certain point, and then they will license them to big pharma. So, for instance, they did a deal with Bristol Myers Squibb recently, and they got a $200 million upfront payment for licensing that technology. So we had to work together with them in a very creative way to do an agreement that allowed the two companies to be able to work together and allowed all of us to benefit. And so it took us a number of months to be able to put that agreement together. But what ended up happening is that we signed an agreement so that we have worldwide access exclusively to their stem cell derived technology for type 1 diabetes. So that will provide an unlimited supply of cells for us, manufactured by Evotec in Europe right now, so that we will have the ability to have an off-the-shelf product that we can put into the cell pouch for patients as we're going forward. And the way the deal works is that both companies are contributing so that we're collaborating to work on the product all the way up to the IND stage. So that's when, we're going to be filing this with regulatory authorities. And then for the first time in Evotec's history, they have taken an option to be able to continue funding through the clinical trials as we move this product on to getting approval. So it really helps to de-risk the technology and all of that aspect. And so depending on the amount of funding that they do through our clinical programs, then we have designed it so that the royalties that will come in to Evotec at the end will be based on, how much contribution they make over that period of time through the clinical development stages. And the important thing is that Sernova has the right to be able to, sub-license the technology out to a big player, because what I've been trying to do over the years is to have that complete regenerative medicine product where we have the device, the unlimited supply of a super high quality cells, and then also the local immune protection. And this is what the big companies are looking for. So we now have that total regenerative medicine product going forward, and we feel that Evotec is fantastic from multiple perspectives, not only the technology side, also their scientific team is second to none. The quality of their work is phenomenal. The business side at Evotec, they were fantastic to work with. Sernova and Evotec are working together very, very closely to get this product into clinic as soon as we can.
Mm-hmm. So but that brings me to the next question. When really? So for us as an investor, sounds everything great, but we know exactly we are here in the health industry, and the health industry always something to do with medicine and so on takes really long time. So, but when really can we expect maybe that you create some revenue out of this fantastic idea?
Yeah, so I think so the way the first thing that we are, the first thing that we are working on is getting more publications and news out about the technology. And Evotec has worked for about 6 years on this technology. They kept it very, very quiet from the rest of the field for confidential reasons. And we're looking at, from an investor perspective, getting more information out in the scientific conferences, first of all. So that's the first step. The other thing is, in terms of, getting this product into clinic, this is something that the companies are aggressively working on together as quickly as possible. Also in the background, we're working on, the local immune protection technology so that we can combine that with the stem cells. So, what we're doing is everything in parallel so that we can get the product into clinical trials. And that's the first step towards being able to get to a, revenue producing type of situation. Where I see potential revenue coming in for Sernova is as we're developing this product, really in potential additional deals that we could do with big pharma companies around the total regenerative medicine product that we're working on right now. And I know there is already a lot of interest in Sernova's total product. The revenues, from the actual sale of the product will probably be a number of years away. But I think what's really going to build our valuation is the fact that we are now the only company in the world in this field that remains in clinical trials and continuing to advance, our technology. And I think we're going to get noted a lot more by institutional investors, et cetera, as we're going forward. So,
I read also the press release from Evotec itself, and it looks really that they are really confident that the product or that the combination of these two companies, or the product of the combination of the two companies, are really interesting and is groundbreaking. But there was also another point on this relationship, is that also Evotec make a capital investment in Sernova. So I think this is also very important, that it makes a big sign that you really believe in your product or your research and development, what they're doing so far.
Yeah, so what's really interesting about that is that they're investing a total of $27 million in the company. The first tranche of $20 million Canadian was at $1.57 Canadian. The second tranche of $7 million will be at $2.50 Canadian, because they believe our stock is very, very undervalued. And that $2.50 is guaranteed to come in by the end of August. So their feeling is, they want to show a signal to the investment community that they believe in our company, that they believe our stock is undervalued, as a lot of CEOs would. But the way I look at this, if you look at the metrics of the deal that was done between Sema and Vertex, Sema was paid approximately $1 billion for their iPSC technology that was at the preclinical stage at the time. So I put value on the technology that we got from Evotec as at least $1 billion from a technology perspective on our company. And Evotec looks at that as, the same way. So, even the $2.50 price that will be coming in for the other $7 million is, just a start in terms of getting us to the appropriate valuation we should be at.
What is in the end and the percentage what the company have?
Yeah, so it actually is a very small percentage. It's under 6%, which is, when you look at our share price, it has moved up over a couple of years by over 500%. That amount of money actually doubles the amount of money in our bank. We currently will have approximately $50 million in the bank, which gives us approximately a 3-year runway running all of our programs right now. And really, cash is king at this point in time for all biotech companies. I have been to multiple conferences around the world where there are quite a number of biotech companies that are running out of money and need to raise money at very significantly, lower prices than they wanted to. So we're not out raising money. We've got a very strong cash position, and we're in great shape from the technology position, and our clinical data is continuing to come in a very, very positive way.
The share price is a good point. You're coming up with you're going to some conference and have big news about your research and development. You have this TSX uplisting, and you're coming up with this Evotec-Deal. And then I look at the share price. I show this now to my people, and we are really on the low end. So we are close to the bottom. There is one spike in, yes, that was for sure the announcement, but it's really. It's frustrating, I must say. But in general, I must say, when I look at the whole sector, it's terrible performance at the moment, and it's really tough for the most companies in this area that you have a good share performance. And this has nothing to do with the company performance, but the share performance itself is terrible. When you look only the last 6 months or something.
Yeah, so I can address that one. So I am doing a lot of traveling right now, and we have been talking to very sophisticated bankers. We have multiple analysts that we've been talking to, who actually know a lot about our competitors. They know a lot of about the field of cell therapy, etc. And the important thing that I've been doing is really building very, very strong technology, very strong clinical program. And from the capital market side, we have gotten a lot of very positive comments about the fact that Sernova has been able to hold its ground really well relative to a lot of other biotech companies that are trading under cash value right now. And I think the combination of the fact that we have a 3-year runway in cash, we have what I would consider at least $1 billion technology added to our pipeline that is very, very back end loaded in terms of cost to us. And I think it's just a matter of time as we go out and talk to investors before they realize that Sernova is really the diamond out there that people should be investing in, because our near-term and long-term future is extremely bright, and we have de-risked all parts of our technology to the point where I'm feeling very, very confident about near-term and long-term future of the company. So I think investors tend to worry about the share price moving, but it's a huge, for sophisticated people who understand what we have, this is an incredible buying opportunity right now for investors in Sernova.
Your shareholder base is more retail oriented at the moment.
Yes.
So, and with TSX uplisting and with the deal of Evotec, a lot of institutional investors are looking now more to your stock. So there is a good chance that some institutional investors are coming to the market and buying.
We're already seeing a number of institutional groups coming in and starting to buy right now. And I think that's going to continue with the TSX uplisting. A lot more companies and groups are able to, feel like they can come into and go in and buy in the open market. We're also talking to a lot of family offices who are able to come in and buy in the open market. And we're looking at getting additional analyst coverage in New York. 2 of our 3 analysts have upgraded their target prices for us up in Canada. And we're hoping to get US coverage. This is something we're working on very, very aggressively. It should be happening soon. I think that will open us up in the US market. The other thing that we have done is we bought on a US communications group. And I think everyone can see the number of articles that has come out around the Evotec-Sernova deal and around our data. I've had multiple interviews, and I think these are in very high quality biotech rags, etc. So we're getting known in the US now, and we're going to be on the playing field with our other competitors in the news. So I think there's a multiple parts of things that we're doing to be able to get known out there to US investors and European investors. And and I think in terms of Europe, having having an Evotec-Deal is really phenomenal because I think Evotec is known to be a really super high quality company out there, and they have an international presence. So I think that it's just going to take a little bit of time, but for those people who are savvy and really smart on the investor side, you want to get in now and enjoy the rewards as the markets start to come back, and as we continue to work with people to show that we are the diamond company out there. So.
Brings me to the last question. What we can expect in the next 6 to 9 months and from the company?
Yeah, so we're going to be continuing to provide additional data on the clinical trial going forward. We're looking at enrolling additional patients with the larger devices, with the slightly larger devices, so that we can put more cells in and spread them out. And we're hoping that that's going to even increase our efficacy further. And we believe that, as we're going forward, the larger devices and the data that's coming out will be setting us up for what the phase 3 trial will look like. It's also setting us up for, what we're going to be doing with our stem cell technology. So I think on the diabetes side, you're going to hear more information coming out about data. I think you're going to hear more information out around our stem cell technology at conferences, and we'll announce that going forward. The other thing that will occur is that for our thyroid program, we're aggressively working on that in the background, and are hoping that we're going to be filing our documentation close to the end of the year for entry into the clinic. So there should be more information coming out around that. And our plan also is, as we're continuing to develop the conformal coating technology for the immune protection, we're working on studies that we would like to take to scientific conferences and have that presented. So I think we're in that phase now where we will put out press releases around all these different technologies as they come out, and be able to report on additional data coming forward. And then, on the business side, obviously we're going to be attending BIO next week, and there we're going to be meeting with multiple companies that we could potentially do, collaborations and do deals with of various kinds. So, this is something that we're very aggressively pursuing, because now that we have the total regenerative medicine product, we can take, if we add another cell type that is producing a certain hormone or factor, we can just, add other indications, and we can now do deals with additional pharma companies going forward. And I think things will move a lot faster now that we have, the Evotec out there, as the Evotec-Deal out there is the kind of deal that Sernova wants to do. So, I think that going forward over the next 6 months, you're going to see a lot more news coming out around Sernova.
Perfect. Sounds great. This brings me then hopefully that in 6 months or 9 months, when we have enough news, that we can do maybe an update on Sernova, and you have time hopefully, then that would be great.
Excellent. Thank you.
Ja, es war ein tolles Update von Sernova. Es hat sich extrem viel getan. Das letzte Mal haben wir ein Interview gehabt im Februar. Im Februar waren wir hier in diesem Bereich, sogar höher aus wie jetzt. Aber es hat sich wahnsinnig viel getan bei dem Unternehmen. Erstmals haben sie ein Uplisting gemacht an TSX. Das haben wir damals im Februar auch schon gesprochen. Wann kommt der Uplisting? Das ist bis jetzt passiert. Letzte Woche hat die Glocke auch läuten dürfen, und da gibt es auch ein Video dazu, das können Sie sich anschauen. Aber der Major-Ding war einfach Mitte Mai, sie haben einen Deal mit Evotec gemacht. Evotec, wissen Sie, ist ein deutsches Biotech-Powerhouse mit über 4000 Mitarbeiter, 4 Milliarden Marktkapitalisierung. Die Firma ist wahnsinnig gut. Der Chef ist sogar Österreicher, also was kann da noch schief gehen? Es wahnsinnig guter Deal eigentlich, und sie haben nicht nur ein Lizenzdeal gemacht, dass sie sozusagen ihre Zellpouches mit deren Stammzellentechnologie kombinieren, sondern auch wie das sie entwickelt hat. Also es war nicht so, dass sie dort quasi die gepitcht haben, sondern es ist eigentlich umgekehrt gelaufen. Er hat gesagt, im August letzten Jahres, also mit Evotec arbeiten sie schon mehrere Jahre zusammen. Das ist einfach so, man arbeitet viel zusammen mit anderen Firmen, und Evotec ist letztes Jahr August gekommen zu ihnen und sagt, wir möchten gerne einen Deal machen, weil ihr habt das beste Produkt am Markt, wir haben alle getestet und ihr seid das einzige Produkt, das eigentlich das liefert, was es sein soll. So, und genau das hat halt dann lange gedauert, bis das so ein Deal mal ausverhandelt ist. Sie wissen, das dauert Ewigkeiten, die Anwälte, wenn da mal zusammensitzen, dauert das wahnsinnig lang. Nur ich glaube, dass ein relativ guter oder sehr, sehr guter Deal ausgekommen ist für beide Seiten. Evotec hat auch das Recht, dass sie quasi das bis zur Kommerzialisierung finanzieren oder mitfinanzieren. Es ist auch so, dass sie Evotec beteiligt mit in Summe 27 Millionen. 20 Millionen mit dem Kurs vom 16. Mai, am 17. Mai ist das veröffentlicht worden. Der war damals 1,57, jetzt sind wir 1,37, also Sie sehen, wir sind jetzt unter dem Kurs. Und am 31. August fließen nochmals 7 Millionen, aber zu einem garantierten Preis von $2,50. Da sieht man auch, was Evotec eigentlich auch für Potenzial drinnen sieht, denn die ist davon ausgegangen, dass das auch dann alleine mit dem Announcement wahrscheinlich von Evotec, dass die Aktie explodiert, ist allerdings nicht passiert. Seit Februar sind auch einige Studien noch rausgekommen, die zeigen alle, dass eigentlich das einzige Produkt ist, das wirklich funktioniert. Sie haben jetzt mehrere Patienten, die kein Insulin mehr brauchen. Sie wissen, es geht um die Technologie, es wird unter die Haut eine Zelltasche, muss man sagen, hineinoperiert. Dort werden Insulinzellen, Stammzellen gespritzt, die dann Insulin produzieren. Sozusagen übernehmen sie die Funktion und dadurch brauchen die Leute kein Insulin mehr spritzen, weil der Körper wieder selber es produziert. Das ist eine unglaubliche Technologie, da ist ein wahnsinniges Potenzial dahinter, da kann man noch viel, viel mehr machen. Warum die Aktien nicht reagiert haben wir auch viel geredet, ist, weil einfach der Markt momentan echt schlecht ist. Er ist schlecht. Es tut sich nichts am Markt, viele Companies im Biotech, denen geht es wirklich schlecht, die raufen wegen Finanzierungen, das wissen auch die Marktteilnehmer, dadurch gibt es kaum Kapital. Sie brauchen kein Kapital, sie haben jetzt über 50 Millionen am Konto liegen, sie kommen 3 Jahre damit wunderbar aus, um ihre Programme durchzuführen, sie brauchen kein Kohle, daher sind sie da auf der sicheren Seite. Trotzdem ist es so, dass natürlich nicht wirklich der Aktienkurs anfängt zum Laufen, wenn man so ein schlechtes Umfeld hat. Positiv zu sehen ist, sie haben fast nur kleine Aktionäre drinnen und die institutionellen Investoren fehlen eigentlich noch, und die institutionellen Investoren werden mit so einem Deal wie Evotec es ist natürlich angezogen. Weiters ist natürlich so, sie versuchen das jetzt natürlich zu verstärken, haben eine eigene Agentur auch beauftragt in den USA, um mehr Publikationen zu produzieren, also Publikationen rund um Evotec und Sernovas Deal quasi auch, der beginnend natürlich und das dementsprechend fortsetzen soll, und dementsprechend soll eine Wahrnehmung für Sernova geschaffen werden, und das wird sich früher oder später natürlich auch im Kurs widerspiegeln. Sie reden auch mit ihren Analysten, es wird wahrscheinlich auch ein Coverage in den USA kommen, was extrem wichtig ist, denn der Markt für diesen Biotech-Markt ist heute einfach mal USA. Der Deal mit Evotec ist sensationell. Ich muss ehrlicherweise sagen, ich habe zwar die Aktie billig gekauft, ich habe irgendwo 30, 35 Cent damals irgendwo bezahlt. Ich bin jetzt natürlich noch immer hochweise, aber ich überlege echt stark, ob ich nicht irgendwie noch mal was investieren sollte, denn der Aktienkurs ist momentan sehr, sehr reizvoll. Und denn das ist für mich das ist jetzt blöd gesagt, aber diese Wahrscheinlichkeit, dass das in 5 Jahren die Firma nicht mehr existiert, weil sie von einem Großen übernommen worden ist, ist extrem groß. Dass das zu nicht dem Kurs passiert wird, sondern zu einem deutlich höheren Preis, ist auch groß. Die Firma hat eine Lösung, was die Welt braucht und was einfach das Leben, die Lebensqualität, vor allem von Diabetes 1 Patienten, massiv verbessert. Und das wird sie meines Erachtens durchsetzen. Wenn da nicht irgendwo was raufkommt, was ganz was Schlimmes, haben wir dort ein Produkt am Markt oder deren Produkt am Markt, das einfach ein Wahnsinn ist, und dann wird es einfach einmal richtig, richtig krachen. Wir wissen es, bei Biotech, das dauert teilweise Jahre oder Jahrzehnte, Jahrzehnte nicht, aber Jahre, und das einmal so passiert, aber wenn es dann passiert, dann ist wirklich, geht es richtig zur Sache. So, das war's von Sernova und dem Deal am 10. Juni 2022. Ich wünsche Ihnen viel Erfolg, viel Spaß bei Ihren Investments und Tschüss und Baba von meiner Seite. Thank you for your time. It was really a great update, and hopefully I see you soon.
Yes, thanks for the opportunity. We'll be in Europe very soon.
Oh, great. And now you have more reason to come over. You have your big partner here, so.
We're already planning another trip over, so we'll potentially be able to visit.
Perfect. Sounds
in July.
great.
Okay, have a great couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.